Hello.
Hello.
You've been on podcast since the old one that we made.
Yeah,
I got something to talk to you about.
I know, finally.
Don't mind Jules, she's gonna be in and out.
Okay.
Um,
Hey, girlfriend.
so how much of yourself do you want to say full name first and last, or you just want to be your TikTok handle? Like, what do you want?
What do you normally like? What's the norm?
I usually do first and last. Matt is more private. He wanted to do the nicknames, or like if so we had Josh Chesler. You know who he is?
Yeah, the shoe guy.
Yeah, so we had him on. He was cool. Like, yeah, first last name. I don't care. I'm out
Yeah.
there. So I don't know if you're like,
I was gonna say everyone knows my first and last name. Most people around like UNO call me Mare though, so that's like the only
mm,
thing I would say is that's like my nickname. But we can do first and last.
okay.
So
So I'm joined here by Mary Pritchard. And what exactly do you do? Because I thought it was just hockey, but you're at the basketball game this weekend. And then do you do any of the soccer stuff too?
I've done soccer. I've done a couple. They call them tier 3 sports. It's all the non-ticketed sports. So like swim, um, tennis or not tennis. Tennis is starting their season, so I haven't done anything with them yet. But track, I've done a couple photos at. So I'll just go and take photos at various events. Technically, what I consider it is a digital media intern for UNO, and it started out with mostly photography. So I took, if you ever go back and look at like any of the current season or past season, I guess, for men's soccer, women's soccer, I took like 99% of those photos. There's a couple other like events that I took a lot of photos at. And then as it progressed through, I started doing video for them too. So I made a couple different videos. I made like a hockey hype video. I don't think they've done anything with it yet, but they have it. I've made one. Um, and then I recently started doing like fan experience type stuff. So if you ever go to like a basketball game or a hockey game, all of that like in period stuff that they do or in between games, I don't necessarily plan those activities. There's a different company and organization called Learfield that does plan all those people, and they pick out the people. Like they're the ones who will go to you at a game and be like, "Hey, like, do you want to do this random game or whatever?" So they find those people, but like my job is to make sure that Learfield and their guests that they picked are like at the correct spots at the same time. During basketball games, I send the teams and stuff like that. So that's kind of been my recent endeavor with the team. So
So you do stuff like, I had to search stuff. This is you.
I don't know if that when was that?
Uh, January 10th is when the post was set.
I honestly could not tell you off the top of my head if that first photo is mine. That's like the worst part is I have a terrible memory, and sometimes I look at these and I'm like, are these mine?
Yeah.
So
I sat next to that one guy when you got his tickets, the guy with the helmet and the gay pride flag.
Super Mav,
What's his name? Super Mav?
Super Mav,
Super Mav.
Mav, yeah.
Because I'm assuming he's a regular. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, he's a big regular. He came to every game I've ever seen. Yeah, I did not take that photo, so I'm trying to figure out who would have. What game was this? um, Wait, click out of it because we can go. There's
I'm on just on the UNO
go to UNO like Omaha basketball.
basketball. I typed that in and I did not
It's
get
like Omaha BB ball or something like that. Oh, right there.
where.
Do. Scroll down a bit. They did something recently, and I took. Did they delete it? They hate me.
Join the club, right?
They did something because they'd won a game against SDSU, and I know they used my photos for that. But I thought that was before the Denver game. Oh,
So that's that one
yeah, like this one up here, number 5.
right here.
I took that photo.
So
I
you're
took that one, yeah.
oh when we went to the Iowa State game and he was pretty good.
He's really good.
We
So
called him White Thunder.
But yeah, this one is all mine. There's a couple times where like it'll be my images mixed with like another photographer's, but these ones were all mine because I was the only one at this.
Do you do the posting too?
I do not, but the guy who does do it, his name is Zach, and he's their SID, which stands for like Sports Information Director. It's basically like they run their social media accounts, is how I kind of describe it. I sent him the photos, and I was like, oh, the coach had mentioned because a lot of times I'll send in at their like press reviews or like the end of game like media kind of stuff. I'll sit in on those. and the head coach was like, "This is the first time we beat SDSU in a while." And so I was like, "Oh, like you should mention in the caption that like this is our first time." So I don't normally like make the post myself, but that one I like gave the caption to.
So let me go back to the one you're talking about when you say that you go to the like when you go interview the fans, you say some of those you do, some of them are like corporate. Do you sit there and review after the footage is done?
What do you mean by
Because
that?
so whenever we went on the International Women's Day game. I don't remember if it was that day specifically, or maybe you guys were gonna post it on that
Okay,
day.
so that I remember what you're talking
Yes.
about now. I remember what you're
Yeah.
talking. So that one, that was back when I started my whole journey like doing sports photography and sports media, working with the Gateway, which is UNO school newspaper. I was in I don't remember what class it was, but I was in a class with the former chief of staff or editor in chief, and I like mentioned I was like, oh, like I want to like work in sports one day. First of all, my overall goal is I do want to go to law school, but my backup plan is to do stuff in sports. And so I was like, I want to start like working with the teams and taking photos for them. And he came up to me after the game and he was like, "Hey, like we're looking for someone to take sports photos for the Gateway. Like we have a sports writer, but like we need someone who could go to games and takes photos." So I started doing that with them. Took a bunch of different photos and then at the end of like hockey season, I emailed the former SID for men's hockey and a couple other sports. And I was like, "Hey, like this is who I am. I want to work more directly with the team. Like, is there an opportunity available?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then I did like the digital media intern. So when I was doing that one with you where I was like, name a
Yeah.
female or whatever, um, that one was just for fun. And we actually ended up not doing anything with
I know.
it.
I kept looking. I looked
Yeah.
for days.
Yeah.
I like the first one I gave you because like whenever because you texted us like, hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this bit, and we were thinking of just like any just awful woman we could name because like you're the thing was just name a woman for
Yeah.
International Women's Day,
Yeah.
and they were all very nice. They're like my mom or like Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
It's like Casey Anthony, and you went with it and you went away. And I think Josh texted you like, "Hey, real
I
quick,
had no clue. Yeah, I had no clue who it was.
yeah, no,
The name didn't process to me when you said it. So
do you know who she is now?"
I know who she is now. I think
Okay.
Josh said something,
And
but
then by the second answer, I was like, Gabby Union, like from Omaha. And you're like, did you know that? Did you know that? And I
yeah.
was like, I knew that. Because I felt bad. I was like, I hope she doesn't get yelled at for anything like that, where it's
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't know if we play. I wanted to do something fun with it because we went with this whole bit of like normally, I don't think he was there that day, so that's why we did it. But normally, like I take the photos and then our sports writer will write an article. And they don't do it anymore, but they used to do like every time they scored a goal, someone would get on camera and say like blah 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 just scored a goal or whatever and
"Mhm."
like go through all that different stuff. So I took all the photos that day. I wrote the end of game recap, and then I was the one who was like on camera being like, "Oh, this person just scored a goal, and we're going into second period, and the score is blah blah blah." So I did all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to do something of like running around and asking people to name a woman, and I don't know why we just didn't do anything with it. So nothing became of it.
I kept looking. I
But
looked
yeah,
on like the UNO's page. I think you guys have like your own hockey one.
yeah.
I was scrolling the
Yeah.
internet, and then
Yeah,
we
that would
came
have been
up
on
to
the
you.
gateway anyway, because I wasn't working like with the teams like I am now when I did that. So
So what when we went the other time, you got yelled at for something where they're like monitor the puck at all times. What was like? What are you supposed to be doing?
So that was the first and so far, which could be because I wasn't watching the puck, the only game that I've done socials at.
Hmm.
And so basically you just take a bunch of different videos and you try and get like if our team scores, you try and get that on camera. And then you're usually just like, oh, crazy goal or whatever. And then you tag whatever player it was and you do like all of their warm-up stuffs. So
Gotcha. Okay,
yeah.
so I don't want to maybe pull the curtain back, but do you guys make like fake fan interaction posts to like generate views where it's like, hey, so and so, or is that like through the school page that you do that one?
Like what do you mean by that?
So like when you said that you make the post on like, oh, what a goal,
Yeah.
are you supposed to be paid like posting as a fan or posting as like,
You post as like a staff member. Like yeah,
gotcha,
it's
okay.
not supposed to be like
I didn't know it was supposed to be like,
yeah,
check out this insane goal from a fan type of way.
yeah.
I was that game. I checked a lot of stuff off of like the weird bucket list I've had, where it's like get on the jumbotron and like see myself on a jumbotron,
Yeah.
we did that, and then like going down and actually being like interviewed on the ice. That's what this is from.
Not oh, you
Yeah,
kept that?
I
That's so
kept
cute.
it. Yeah,
Did you use it?
I have $10 left because there's not a ton of come and goes around here
Yeah.
near at least where I live. So it was really cool. And then I kept trying to, give it to Josh because he drives us around a ton and that's what he does for work. And he was like, "No, man, like you earned
You
it."
won. You
Yeah.
won. Yeah.
And the lady was so nice. She was just like, "Yeah, at least you got like gasoline. It could have been like a lame t-shirt or something." It's
Yeah.
like I would have gladly taken the t-shirt
Yeah.
or anything like that. So yeah, it was really cool to do that. Um, I don't know. I had something else to say there, but I lost my train of thought. So when you're doing other sports going forward, is there going to be more job opportunities that they're going to want you to do? Like, oh, this is an internship. You don't even get paid to do this.
Yeah, so I when I so technically my internship is over and I now just like do it for fun or whatever and do it because I like it. But yeah, when I was interning with them, I did not get paid. However, I'm taking over the like the person who left, what was her job? It was something like assistant director of marketing and fan engagement or something like that. And I'm just filling in until they can find a full-time person for it, but they'll start paying me for that one. So I don't know, I didn't take as many photos during hockey games as I thought I would this season just because hockey's such a big sport for UNO, we usually have
Yeah.
a lot of like freelance and like professional photographers who come in. So I think there's maybe 2 or 3 practices that I took photos at, and then there's only one actual game that the team played. There was their exhibition game, which like was a real game. This just doesn't count on their like record or whatever. And then there was the black and white scrimmage where they split the team in half. So the only game I actually ever photographed was I think Western Michigan or something like that. So, but I'll end up doing a lot of the like marketing and like fan engagement stuff from now on during games. So
What law do you want to pursue? Just that, like, is it one that would be down the avenue of like athletics and like stuff like that?
there's a couple. I've talked about doing sports law, so that would be
Yeah,
like writing contracts for like players and teams and stuff like that. But I've also talked about like international law and criminal law. So I haven't narrowed it down quite yet, but sports law like is a possibility. So
gotcha. Yeah, and this might sound wildly disrespectful. I've known you for going over 10 plus years
oh
now.
God, we're old.
I would never have like, oh yeah, she's gonna be a lawyer,
Oh
going
really?
for to be a lawyer. No, I
Mm,
never thought so. Even though I think I remember you saying like, I would love to be a lawyer. I just like to argue with
yeah.
people, like as a youngin, and I just
As a
never. I was
youngin.
just like, yeah, no, I would never peg you to be a lawyer.
There's a lot of people now that are like, I could always see you being a lawyer, and I was like, I feel like I agree with you that I'm like, I don't know if I always came off as. I think it's just because I'm loud, and people are like, oh, he'd be a great lawyer.
Does UNO have a law
No,
school?
Lincoln does and Creighton does, but I do not, if I can help it, I do not want to go in state for law school.
So where do you want to go?
ASU and University of Washington in like Seattle area, like those are my top two purely because of location. Like I haven't really looked. I still, if I get into law school, I would start fall of 2026. So I would take like the LSATs sometime later this year. So I still have like a whole year to kind of like plan things out.
You took like a year off,
Yeah, I took a
right?
gap year. Yep.
Do you recommend that for more like for the most of the young people?
Oh, that it's
Like,
it's a yes and a no for me. I think if you know that you want to like pursue some kind of career that you need a degree, like you want to go and become a lawyer and like you need your undergraduate or you want to go to medical school and like you need, then I would do it. But if you think you could get a job that like you probably didn't need to go to college for, like I wouldn't do it because at the time, so I've switched majors a bajillion times while I've been in college. And when I first started out in school, I was biological sciences engineering and I was going to go pre-med. I wanted to become an oncologist, which is a doctor that works with cancer patients. And
well,
I
I remember in high school you used to do a lot of the like the sports
and
ed
yeah, I did
stuff.
a lot of like
Yeah.
athletic training and stuff in high school. Um, but like that was my plan. And so when I was in my gap year, I was like, I have to go back to school because like I need an undergraduate degree to like get into medical school. Like I need that. But I think if I just wanted to be like, I don't know, something random where I don't necessarily need a degree, like I don't know that I would have gone back. So
Are you trying to go to those out of state schools because you're like, do you watch professional? Like, are you a big fan of professional sports? Or are you just on the collegiate side that you kind of follow?
I would say I focus more on like college games, but I do watch some professional sports sometimes. So
When you're hanging around the hockey players, I know there's a lot of them that are from like Slovakia.
So yeah, so our goalie's from Slovakia.
Do you does he speak English? Do you guys
He
talk to him?
I've talked to him occasionally. He does speak English, but like it's not I mean, it's not perfect. He has an
Right.
accent obviously when he
Right.
talks and stuff, but yeah.
Huh. Okay. Is so him. I feel like those people would just stick right out in a place like Omaha. Do they go out and like
As
do
far as I
stuff?
know, they go out. I mean, most of our I used to be a friends with one of the guys on the tennis team, and most of our tennis players are also international students. And like they go out all the time, and you just talk to them. Sometimes you have to ask them to repeat what they're saying because they've got this thick accent, and you're like, I don't know what you're saying to me right now.
Did you ever meet or did you ever go to the club Rhythms and is the DJ Grig?
No, but I think he follows me on Instagram.
Would not surprise me. He went to UNO to play tennis, and now he's just a DJ. Me and
Yeah,
Josh interviewed him twice. He's a really cool guy. Now I think he's more like promoter and
yeah.
on that side, but yeah, very weird. I can't remember. Hey Josh, do you remember where Greg was from? Romania. So
Mm,
yeah, weird accent. I can't even like replicate it, and I
yeah.
don't want to. I don't be disrespectful, but he was a cool guy, and yeah, came all the way just to play tennis.
Yeah.
Which how many of those guys come out of country to play either hockey or basketball that you run into?
I don't know that. Actually, that's a lie. There's I think two people on our team that I can think of that are not from the United States for basketball. Hockey. Okay, do we consider like Canada, like is that still like foreign enough to you or
It's,
does it got to be like across the ocean?
I mean, Canada is not American, but they still speak English unless they're from like the French Canadian part
Yeah.
where, yeah. So how
So,
many Canadians?
oh my God. Wait,
Okay, never mind.
let's hold let's
How many
hold
of
our
them
breath.
are American that you can like, okay, you're from like Wisconsin or Minnesota. Is there anybody from Omaha that like plays on Omaha?
I don't know that there was anybody directly from Omaha, but I think some of them have played on the Omaha Lancers, was like a junior hockey league. So they've played on that team. And then they've also like I believe it's both the Ludke brothers. They played at Lincoln. And there's a couple other guys on our team that played at Lincoln Stars, which is another USHL team. They played
Yeah.
there for like maybe a year or two or however long. So I can tell you right now with full certainty, none of our goalies are American. So
Yeah.
we've got three goalies. Our main goalie, which is Simon, he is from Slovakia. Our like Kevin, who's been in occasionally, he is from Sweden, I want to say.
Mhm.
And then Will is our last goalie, and he was in. I don't think you were at that game, but the Miami game that got really like heated and there's a bunch of fights. He was
Yeah.
thrown in like the last 8 minutes of that game. He got to play, and he's from Canada. He's from like Ontario, I think.
You travel around with the team every so often too, right? Like you travel whenever they were in a tournament and you guys win somewhere.
So they were when I was still working with the Gateway, they played in Colorado Springs against Colorado College. I went to that game with the Gateway, so it was me and the sports editor, and he used to be, I think he got promoted, and our sports editor also got promoted. But he was kind of like our social media guy, I would say, and it was the three of us. We went there and then we photographed that and like did all the stuff for that game. And then they won and went to the semifinal and then the championship game. And that was in St. Paul, and I went there as well for that. So
Would you rank Omaha fans as being pretty high on the list of s- college hockey fans or
like if you look at it from the NCHC standpoint, I would say without a doubt UND fans are like the biggest, like they show up and they show
you're
out.
talking about the
Like,
Sioux fans, right?
yeah, I think
I
that's what it
can't
is.
fucking stand those people. I went to a game, it was probably a year or maybe 2 years ago, and I was sitting where I usually sit. It's upper deck, but in the middle-ish.
Mhm.
And during the national anthem, they would do in like in the land of the free, and they do in the land of the, and they scream Sioux. And
Oh.
there was an old man who was down the row, like down a couple
Oh
rows
God.
from where I was sitting, who took offense to this. And he like looked up and he was jawing at some of these like younger kids that were wearing like SNU or SNU or SN sorry, the North Dakota jerseys.
Yeah.
and they were just arguing back and forth during the national anthem. After the first period intermission, he went up and used the restroom, and this guy came running down the stairs and shoved him down the stairs.
This was at an Omaha
This
game?
is yeah. I was with Billy too, and I was just like looking at him. I was like, "Oh shit!" Because I was telling him, I was like, these games usually get a little
Yeah.
crazy on the ice.
On the
I've
ice,
never seen
yeah.
it have a fight, and yeah, I mean, I think if you go there, still there's like a little stain because like
Oh my
the
god!
old guy cracked his head on the thing, and I felt bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't like those fans. Every time they just get so chippy with
Yeah.
like,
Fans do get crazy, but I will say when I went to St. Paul, I want to say UNO played UND in the semifinals, and then we played Denver in the championship. And I
yeah,
mean, they were there. They were one of the media stands that I was at. There was an entire row in front of them, and like they were super nice. They were talking to us. There was gun to my head, Save the Planet. I couldn't tell you who it was, but there was some famous or like really well known sports reporter guy that was at the other media stand like next to us, and they wanted photos with him. So one of the random girls, I think she was like a freelance photographer. She like took a photo of them and like sent it to them so they could have it, and they were like super nice guys. But yeah, they show up and like show out. And I think a lot of people talked about I've heard a lot of the guys say because they're moving the championship and the semifinals after this year, it's going to go based on like your stats or something like that. So it won't always be at this like neutral location in St. Paul like it normally is. Um, and they're like, well, most of the time, like only the UND fans show up, which I mean, it's only a 6 hour drive from Omaha to St. Paul. So
did you guys drive that, or did the school provide like a van for you guys to
I
drive?
drove myself when we went with the Gateway. We drove independently, but I think I have our school has like a spirit squad. It's called Mad Maniacs or something like that. I think if you wanted to go with them, you paid like a couple bucks or whatever it was, and they covered your hotel, and then there was like a giant charter plus you took.
Oh,
So
that's pretty cool.
yeah, because I know they went to me and my one friend wanted to go, and we ended up not doing it because it was just too much money and like trying to figure everything out. But they played in Palm Springs. They did a tournament in Palm Springs, and this was yeah. This was the first year they had it. I don't know if UNO will go back next year. Like I don't know how they decided what teams were in it, but it was the first year of this tournament anyway. And some of the Mav Maniacs went, and so yeah, they like had their flights covered. I mean, they had to pay whatever it was, but they got their flights and like their rooms and all that kind of stuff and got to go. So
So further down the line, what is like how much longer could you be working for UNO?
I graduate in December of 2025, so I think my stuff will probably end around there. So
What's your current degree that you're doing?
I'm double majored in criminal justice and journalism.
Gotcha. What's your minor?
I
Or
don't have one.
okay.
Double majoring is enough. So you're supposed to have like concentrations and stuff in both journalism and criminal justice. And I think I'm also able to like skip that. I think I technically have a journalism concentration, which is like emerging media. So it's like broadcast reporting and that kind of stuff. But I don't have to have like a minor or anything because I'm already taking two majors. So I gotta get like double the credits of everyone else.
So if you were to go and pursue more legal sports side or sports photography, where would you want to go to do that? Anywhere that's hiring, or is there like a specific team or area that you're like, yeah, that's the place I want to be?
If I could pick, I would want to stay with hockey because I think it's been the most fun to like photograph. I've also actually really enjoyed soccer. Like the guys, when I was photographing with them, they were like really energetic and stuff like that. So I also did enjoy soccer, which I did not really see happening. But I would want to stick with a hockey team and go somewhere that like a professional hockey team is at. So but it's gonna be like I gotta build up to that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah,
I'm not really expecting to like graduate. My first job post grad is working with like the Seattle Kraken or whatever.
yeah.
So, but
They have a really cool stadium where it's
yeah,
like built into the ground, and I can't remember something about it. Isn't it like all recycled materials or it's
yeah,
something
it's
big
something
on
like
the
carbon neutral. It's something with like the carbon. I don't remember
yeah,
exactly what it is, but yeah, they're a big like climate team.
which that's cool. I hope I knew a guy that went out there and the streets are bad,
Yeah,
but the team's really cool.
yep,
I like the way those jerseys look.
yeah.
Um, blanking. They'll edit all this out. They'll make me look good, I hope.
Who's
Um,
they?
Matt,
Oh,
yeah, his very short ability of like I can clip these two together, and this he'll probably just post on like a little screenshot in.
mm,
So
yeah,
nothing too crazy.
yeah.
Um, hmm. Should have wrote down more questions.
I didn't think you wrote down any questions to begin with. I
I
thought you
wrote
were
down
just
a
going off the
few.
dome, and I was like, wow, you're doing great.
I did. I had a few. I asked Matt. I was like, "Yeah, is there any questions you want to ask?" And he goes, "No." And I was like, "All right, cool, good talk." Do when you guys win or any big celebrations, do you guys get to celebrate with the team, or is it like, no, it's just like a team thing? Any weird frat parties that you can do with like a hockey squad or anything like that?
Sometimes they go out after, and I think
Yeah.
you just see them at the bar. I don't know that
Mhm.
they like send out invites, if that makes sense. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else with your profession that you're doing, or not profession, that you're doing right now for UNO?
Um, what do you like related to the digital media
Yeah.
stuff or I mean one thing I've done before and then I missed the one the other day and I think baseball's is coming up soon is I helped out with media days.
Hmm.
So I was not like the main photographer or any of that kind of stuff, but like I helped make sure everyone went to like where they were supposed to be. When we did volleyballs and soccer we did stations. And so they like went here and they did their like superstitials, which is like them like cheering and like trying to like engage the crowd that they'll play occasionally on the Jumbotron. And then there was like the actual like sit down. We asked them questions of like, what's your name? What's your major? And like made them answer questions related to like UNO and then also like their sport. And then there was also like the hype video. And then I think there was a spot where they went and got like their headshots done. So I just made sure that everyone like floated around from spot to spot. And then hockey's was pretty kind of random. I think they had to sign up for a time slot to get their like headshots and that kind of stuff done. And so then I showed up later when they started filming their hype video and got like a couple behind the scenes photos of that. So, and that made the Instagram. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Is there any sports interact or any fan interactions that you had that you were not a big fan of, or have they all been pretty good for the most part?
Yeah, I feel like I haven't had anything crazy yet, but
Is there any weird stories that someone's had where they've went and interviewed somebody and someone punched them or something?
no, I don't think UNO does like the running around and like interviewing people in the middle of the game like I did with you guys. Like that was I did with the Gateway. But yeah, off the top of my head, I cannot think of like anything kind of crazy. I wish I could because I would add to the story,
Yeah.
but you know.
Is there any like any juicy tea that comes on the side where they're like talking about like do you guys get any more of the inner scoop of like working with like a front office type with the UNO people or anything like like a hockey player hooked up with a journalist or anything like that? Nothing like that?
I mean, I've heard that like the guys talk to each other, so I've heard if you hook up with a player and you think it's going to stay between you and this accounts for any of the sports, but if you think it's going to stay between you and the athlete, like it's not going to, they will tell everyone, at least their team. So
Do they tell you guys like when you're like, hey, don't like do they have any sort of sit down like don't do anything with the players? Or is it just like if it happens, it happens?
as far as I know, I was never given a like don't do anything with the players, but there's been a couple times where I'll make a joke about something and they're like don't do that. Like one time it's like not anything bad. One time I did walk-in photos because we do walk-in photos at basically every game for the hockey team, and I think the men's soccer team at one point requested it. And so then they were like, "Oh, you should just start doing it at like every game. Like just be there before every game and like get walk-in photos for them like the same way we do for the hockey team." And I was like, "Okay, like I'm gonna DM." And a bunch of the guys, like first of all, a lot of the student athletes at UNO, they recognize my face and I'm the girl who takes their photos.
Gotcha.
Like, they'd be like, "Oh, that's the girl that takes our photos." Like, they don't know my name, but they'll follow me on, like, social media, or I'll follow them, and then they'll follow me back or whatever. So I'm, like, social media friends with a lot of them. Um, but I, like, made a joke. I was like, "Oh, like, I'll just DM one of the guys and tell them to start dressing up before every game so they look nice or whatever."
Oh,
And they're like, "Yeah, don't do that." And I don't know if it was just a, like, we don't want them looking nice, like, we kinda just want to take photos how
natural.
yeah, like, however they look or whatever, or if it was like a, "That's inappropriate." But I was like, "These guys are all my age, so I can't see it being, like, an inappropriate thing." Who knows?
Has any of them shot their shot like, oh hey, like you follow me on Instagram?
Couple of them, like, asked to hang out, and I'm like, "No, no, thank you."
Yeah.
So,
Any of the foreign ones that are like, teach me English or anything like
no, I haven't had any of that, but yeah, I've had some of them reach out and, like, be like, "Oh, we should hang out sometime," and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Eh." I got better things to do.
Yeah,
But then also a lot of them will reach out and they'll be like, "Where are my photos at?" So,
gotcha.
so
Have any of them, I don't know, is there any bad stereotypes about athletes that you kind of run across of the more that you see them or hang out with them
mm,
that you're comfortable sharing?
I feel like there's always like hockey stereotypes, and I'm trying to think of what they could have been,
Hmm.
but it's like not anything's jumping out to me. But I know there's like
Do they talk like how they talk on like Shorzy or Letterkenny? How they have that like, oh, like, hey there, bud, type of thing. Do
some
they?
of them do have like there's one kid that's from Minnesota. He's got like a really thick like Minnesota accent. Some of the
Hmm.
Canadian guys have like a really thick accent. If you ever watch like they post them on YouTube, our head coach will always do after a game. He always does his press release. He has a really thick like traditional Canadian accent.
Do
So
they do any of that weird like hockey slang where they're talking about like dirty dangles and like any of that stuff?
I haven't heard any. I texted one of the guys that does their stats one time and asked him for you guys, like, what would a good game to go to be or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said something like, "Are you trying to rip it up at a game or whatever?" And I was like, "Oh, is that like a Canadian thing?" Because I knew he's from Canada. He's from like
Mm.
Calgary or something. And he was like, "No, that's like a hockey saying." But I don't couldn't tell you what the hell that means or where
I
it came
was
from.
gonna ask,
But
like, what does that mean?
yeah, no, he just said it one time, and I was like, "Okay." So
Eh, I've never heard of that one. I've heard they got some really weird ones. Like, have you seen the ones where they had like they interview kids and they're doing their little hockey slang? And
yeah, and they yeah.
I have no and like the chirps. Do they do any of the chirps or anything like that?
I think I haven't heard any of them chirp like to each other before, like on
Mhm.
the ice. Like you don't really hear it because I feel like every time they do fight, they end up on the complete opposite end of the ice or like the other side where I'm at, so you can't really hear them like yelling at each other. But I know one time, and I know this is so not true, but they sat down and did an interview I wanna say with, like, Herd at Sports maybe,
Okay.
and asked them, like, "What's a chirp that you say to guys a lot?" And whoever they interviewed was like, "Oh, we make fun of them for how much creamer they put in their coffee." And I was like, I know when we're chirping guys, that's not what we're saying, but you gotta keep it family friendly, so
Yes, and you don't want your student athletes looking
yeah,
that type
yeah.
of way. Do you get to follow any of them when they go past college? Like if they go either into the NFL or if there's any sort of like transfer portal, because I know that's kind of big in the NFL or college football right now. I don't know if that's also an issue that they have in like hockey or UNO basketball where they play for a team for like a month and then they dip out or anything like that.
We've had a couple guys that transferred. I was really good friends with one of the old hockey players, and he ended up transferring to Holy Cross, which is in like it's outside of Boston somewhere. So I was really good friends with him, and he transferred. But I mean, it's like not. I think our coach had mentioned one time that he tries to get a lot of the players like as freshmen. He tries to kind of like avoid the transfer portal because you got guys that are coming in and they've played with other teams and they have like a different way. And he's like, I kind of want to still be able to like mold them and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
is there anything? Because you came to what game was it that you came to?
The most recent one, I have a really bad memory.
Who did we play?
It was Toga night, and the guys were really nervous because no one else, like we were walking around and nobody was wearing togas. To be fair, we had like really bad ice and rainstorm
Yeah,
that
that was like
day,
the
and
ice
not
game or
not a lot
something.
of people came down. We actually
Yeah.
snuck down to the student section, and it was I've never like been in the student section, so I was like, let's go do that. That looks like fun.
Toga night they played Lindenwood, which isn't even one of our conference teams,
We
so
lost to them, if I remember right.
we honestly might have. We were on for a minute there. We were on like an insane losing streak that I was like, guys, what the hell are we doing?
Whenever stuff like that, do they tell you guys to if you're interviewing them or like do you have to kind of not focus on the negative stuff or they're like, hey, just have fun, be positive, don't ask them like what are they gonna do to be better or anything like that.
No, I'll straight up ask. If
What?
I see them like in the hallway or something, I'll make a joke and I'll be like, what the hell are we doing, guys? Like
Yeah.
what the fuck's going on? Like we're losing right now, make it make sense. So I have threatened a lot of times that I will join the team and I'll start playing. So
What do they say to you whenever they see you like, oh yeah, fucking what do you guys do?
I think they just laugh at me and they think I'm stupid. So
Okay.
but yeah.
Could you imagine anyone trying to fight like try to fight you? Like, oh,
I
you think
fight
it's
back.
fucking yeah.
Scrappy
Every
as
time
hell.
I've gone, I've never seen them actually get into a fight. I've never seen them drop
The
gloves and do
the
anything like
worst
that.
one was Miami. That was a good. They just finished playing Miami at home for Miami, which is like Ohio. It's like
Yeah,
University
Miami,
of
Ohio.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
I've seen
that.
them play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does get physical.
Yeah, that one because I heard at the time that we played them, and I think now because we were on a bit of a winning streak, we're like probably ranked higher than they are now. But at the time, we were like the worst two teams in our conference or something like that. So it was really just like crazy physical. There wasn't. I think it was the first night there wasn't anything too crazy. It was the second night that we were up. I want to say 8-1. And we were in the third period. There's about 8 minutes left. So they put in Will, who's our third string goalie and they put him in. They're doing the puck drop over in like one of the corners or whatever. They drop it. I don't know who gets possession of the puck. I think it had to be Miami or something like that. And then play ends for whatever reason it is. And I think a player just like either ran into Will on purpose or like hit him or did something. And a big rule in hockey is you don't
Don't.
touch the goalie.
Yeah.
And it also I think if it had been Simon, who's our first string goalie, I think they still would have gone insane. But this was the third string goalie who never goes in, like never really plays. Like he's a really nice guy, but he's just like he's not playing all that often. And so people just dropped gloves and they were punching the shit out of each other.
Do they get any like, hey, if you get into a fight, you cannot play next game? Like, is it just the
Yeah.
5 minute major that they get?
So so it was we might have been on a one team might have been on a power play. And normally there's like including your goalie, there's like 5 players on the ice or 6 players, something like that.
Yep.
So one of the teams was down a player. But they put both teams, everybody minus the goalies, ended up in the penalty box. And then they all came out and they got ejected. Like they had to leave, everybody had to leave the game or whatever. And I mean, again, we were 8 minutes left in the third period and we were up 8-1. So it wasn't that big of a deal that like a lot of our good players had been ejected. Um, and then I thought someone told me there was a risk of them potentially getting like suspended from the next couple games, but as far as I can tell, nobody ever did. So
Do they want you guys posting stuff like that? Like, look how fucking cool this fight was? Or is that one of the ones that are like, we can't post that?
I I think it depends on how you like phrase it kind of because I think one of our guys that does their social media wanted to say something like handing out ejections like participation trophies and I think they were like don't phrase it like that. But I think I wasn't doing socials that day. I don't I might have been shadowing with like the marketing girl and doing stuff like that because I don't remember exactly I was up above in the press box watching it, but I don't remember what my job was that day. But yeah, I think it just kind of depends on how you phrase it. So I don't know if the person who did socials got it on video, but if anything, like all of the other people, they have access to it. So like if you do post it, like someone else can see it and like immediately take it down or whatever. Or they'll send you a text like, hey, like we don't recommend like they'll let you know like, hey, don't do that or whatever. But I also think like that was the first really bad fight that I've ever seen since I started working with UNO hockey, which has been like a year now, over a year now. So I feel like I would have posted it too, but I don't know how they feel about that kind of stuff.
For a lot of the social medias I've been seeing with other sports teams, they've been kind of getting into like meme posting.
Yeah.
Do you guys do that? Is there any, I don't want to say policy, any sort of guidelines that they're like, either like from a school standpoint of like, we don't want to send that type of image, or from the NCAA, like, hey, don't be doing stuff like that?
We haven't had anything yet. I would argue that like I do the least amount of like social media work.
Hmm.
So, but I know one of the girls who she's worked with the team for I think going on like 2 or 3 years now. So she's been with them for a while and she's another student worker. She's come up with like a couple different like funny video ideas and just different stuff to post on social media. But the other thing too is a lot of times like when she has an idea, she sends a message to our assistant director of athletic marketing and then she'll say like, "Oh yeah, like we can go ahead and do that or whatever." So a lot of times it does go through kind of like a background check or like someone checks over it to make sure it's okay.
For anyone that's trying to get to where you're doing, is there any sort of pathway that you recommend? Like, is it just through a class? Is it any sort of like, it's like, oh, you actually have to sit down and do a job interview? I'm assuming each school is different.
Yeah.
Is this just fall in your lap, the work that you're doing now, the internship that you're doing? Or is this something that you're like, all right, I'm going to school to do this, and riding it out from there.
I mean, you can go to school and like I would recommend like if you want to do photos and that kind of stuff, I would recommend doing like what I'm doing and doing a journalism major. My friend who does a lot of their social media and designs a lot of like the graphics for our sports and stuff like that, she's a business or marketing major, something along there. So like I would recommend either business marketing side or doing like a sports like or just a journalism in general side. Um, but I mean, the way I got into it was I genuinely just like in the middle of a class doing an icebreaker introduction was like, I want to work more with sports. And this guy I happened to have class with, I didn't know it at the time, but I happened to have class with the editor in chief for the Gateway. And so he reached out to me. So it kind of, in a sense, like fell into my lap that like he just happened to be in this class with me. But I'm also like one thing I will say is if you're wanting to work with like a college team but you don't have a portfolio yet, like reach out to like club teams, reach out to like your old high school if you still go to like an in-state school and ask to take photos of like their athletes. Because the one thing I will say is I don't know if I would have gotten the job. I mean, I didn't have to interview. I literally sent an email like, "Hey, can I do something with you guys?" And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely. We love like student workers or whatever." But like I did not have that much of a portfolio. If I had sent him an email without ever working with the Gateway, it would have been only images that I took in high school, which was probably like 5 years old at that point. And so I was like, I need something more new, more recent. So
For how much you work there, how much pull do you have? Because the last time you're there, like I'm trying to get a hold of all these interns, no one's answering their phones. Like I thought you were gonna put them through walls. Like how much pull do you have through that program?
I think I wasn't trying to find the interns. I was trying to find the Learfield people.
What is that?
It's the people who do they usually pick who is going to be in the activities. So like they would have gone around to random people. They have a couple interns of their own. It's like an independent company, but they would have gone around and like been like, "Hey, do you want to be in this activity or whatever?" And I work with them. So I make sure that they're in their spot, they have what they need and all that kind of stuff when game days are happening. And I knew that you guys were coming to the game and I knew that I wanted you guys to do the running with the bowl one.
Yeah, I saw that one
Yeah,
too.
and they had as I put your guys' name down, they had someone else pick someone,
Yeah.
and so then I had to move you guys to a different one. But
How long does that guy that I don't want to say he interviewed me. What does he even do? Is it just like an MC
yeah,
job?
he's like the MC guy. So
Yeah.
I think our assistant director of athletic marketing, she knew him because she used to work. Her former job before this was with the Lincoln Stars, doing like basically the same thing, all of their like marketing stuff. And then I think before that, she might have worked in Des Moines with like the Bucks, which is I think a USHL team out there. I'm not exactly sure, but she somehow knew him from like the hockey community. He must have done it somewhere before and she saw him. So she kind of knew him in like a roundabout way. And then just was like, "Hey, like, do you want to come out?" I don't know who we had before. Maybe he quit or something, but the dog would like to say hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Hello. All
She
right, get
loves
down.
she loves women.
Get down.
Um,
Sit. Okay.
Not to get political. I think you're a pretty strong, or at least I've seen you be a strong advocate for adopting dogs from
Yep.
like shelters. Um,
Adopt senior dogs.
yeah,
Look right at the camera. Adopt senior dogs.
because I mean, you had a pretty weird and I really like the story of Pandora,
Rest in
where
peace.
you guys got her, you didn't know the age.
No.
What do they? Do you remember what they predicted her to be like 10 or something like that?
Do you
Like,
want me to give you just like the full story,
yeah,
full
because
rundown
I think I mean it's outside
of sports?
of
But
sports, but I still think it's like a kind of a neat little note to hit on it because I know
yeah.
you're passionate about it.
Okay, so we had a dog when I was younger. Its name was Jake, and it was a Rottweiler. Josh, when did Jake die? Like I was, yeah. Josh was probably 10. I was probably like 8. We were all relatively young when it
Yeah,
happened, and I think from the moment the poor dog got put down, I was at my dad and my mom's feet, like, let's get a new dog, let's get a new dog. And when I was a senior in high school, I finally convinced them I was like, we should foster dogs. And I was like, the thought process was if I stayed in Link or I stayed at home and went to UNO, we could keep doing it.
she
My
is.
girlfriend. um, but if I go out of state, then my parents could stop it at any time. Plus, you could like they sent you a list of like 3 or 4 dogs that would need like foster care, and then you got to like pick the dog. So if you knew like you couldn't take care of like a really sick dog or whatever, like you got to pick. So it really worked out for us or whatever. convinced my parents to do it. They agreed to it. The very first dog we pick is Pandora. And I go to pick her up, and they tell us that she is a 1-year-old blackmouth cur, which is a southern hunting dog. We have her for probably maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and they told us there was literally nothing wrong with her. She just wasn't doing well, like most dogs in like the shelter kennel environment. Um, she wasn't doing well in there, and that her owners were at the times like all that flooding was happening in Bellevue, and they must have lived in the flooding area, and so they couldn't wherever they'd moved to, they couldn't take her with her or with them. So she was there until they could find a place that would like allow dogs or whatever. And so we're like, yeah, like we'll watch her basically. So we were basically just free pet sitting for these random people or whatever.
Yeah.
And the 2 or 3 weeks that we're supposed to return her are up. We don't hear anything back, and they send an email to my mom, and they're like, yeah, like Pandora's been abandoned. Like we can't get in contact with her owners. We don't know where the hell they are. Like we're considering her abandoned, and she's now like property of the state. And that's when we're like, well, are we going to adopt her? I still don't think my dad wanted another dog or whatever.
Yeah.
And so my mom was like, well, I know you really want the dog, but your dad doesn't want the dog, and I don't know what to do about it. And I was like, at the end of the day, like, I'm only going to be mad if you guys would say we can't foster anymore after this. Like, if we don't adopt Pandora, but I can keep fostering, I don't care if we get her or not. Like,
Right.
but if you tell me we can't get Pandora and we're done fostering, like, that's when I'm going to be really pissed or whatever. So we ended up adopting her. I took her back because she had a skin tag on her elbow and a broken tooth. And so they're like, well, don't adopt her yet because we'll cover the cost to fix these if she's still like property of the state or whatever. So took her back to drop her off. And they're like, oh, yeah, like Pandora, like the 10-year-old blackmouth cur. And I was like, wait a minute. Like we picked her up 2 weeks ago and she was a year old. Like
Yeah.
you're telling me she's aged 9 years? Like, what do you mean by that?
Living in your house, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, exactly. I'm like,
Yeah.
all the stress we put her under doesn't shock me. But um and so they're like, yeah, she's like 9. And then they brought in a vet to look at her teeth and like the skin tag and all that kind of stuff. And then they brought in a trainer because Pandora used to bark at literally everything that moved. She was like a massive barker. So my mom was like, I want like to try and train her out of that habit or whatever.
Right.
And I think the vet said she was probably like 8 or 9. And then the dog trainer was like, oh, I think she's more like 5 or 6 or whatever. And the only way you can tell is by looking at their teeth or whatever. And so then when they removed her tooth, they cleaned her teeth as well. And so then when we took her to our regular vet, probably like a year later to like get some stuff done or whatever, they're like, well, we can't tell now because her teeth have been cleaned. And a lot of times it's like the wear and like the age on their teeth is how they determine it. So,
Gotcha.
so we think she was 10 years old when we got her, and she lived for 5 more years with us. 2 of those riddled with doggy cancer.
Which, like, they were like, oh, she's got
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah. Yep.
And I remember just, going over to your house every once in a while. I was like, still kicking. Like,
She's still here. Looks just fine. She really, I mean, up until the week we put her down, she was just kicking. Like she
yeah.
was just going. There was nothing wrong with her. And then the week that she had to be put down, her face started to really swell up, and she was just like slowing down a lot.
Yeah.
And like that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, this is the end. But she fought for, I mean,
2 years.
yeah,
I mean,
2 years with doggy cancer.
she was a good dog.
Yeah.
She was so sweet. I mean, barked on the occasion,
Yeah.
but nothing like not aggressive.
Yeah.
Because I know some of those dogs, you just don't know what you're gonna
Yeah.
get.
And I think sometimes that was the worry with my mom, is that like she does kind of look at you like she's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And then it's the second she can smell you, she calms down and she's fine. But I think that worried my mom that like people are gonna think she's like a terrible dog because she just barks or whatever. So
And I think if you guys would have gave her back and being in the kennels, yeah, she probably
yeah.
wouldn't have.
Yeah, she would, yeah.
Yeah. So very, very, good dog.
Yep.
And I think whenever you posted her like in memorial
Yeah.
post, you're like, yeah, adopt. And are you guys looking to do that again? Or are you kind of holding off?
I won't get in. I think we've all maybe minus Josh, like all the kids have mentioned we're gonna get another dog, but I think we're all gonna do it like when we've moved out. Like I
Yeah.
won't get another dog until I move out. So
Um, I didn't know what that was. So you agreed to be back to sports. You agreed to be on the softball team. You used to play for this team. I think it's gonna be some Heart Ventures is what they're calling the softball team
Ew, that's
now.
what was our name when I was on it?
Average Joes.
Average Joe's, and I think
Yeah.
that was the team name for a while.
Yeah. You've always done, I mean, how many seasons have you played with them?
I think honestly only like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think I was a sub for 2 seasons, and I think the first season I subbed 1 game, and then the second season I subbed a couple more games, and then the third season I was actually like on the team and a player on the team. So
What do you usually play?
I'm usually outfield.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I played when I played softball when I was younger. I was either outfield or I was second and short. So, but I don't know who's all going to be like returning
Mm.
for this team or whatever. So I might, who knows, I might get moved around, but
Yeah, he Joe, the owner, captain, whatever you want to call him. He's like, yeah, we'll do some open practices here and there. I'm honestly surprised he's keeping this thing going
we didn't
because,
do one last year.
yeah,
So, like
well,
last summer, I know that.
the problem is he just, I mean, having people commit, that's like a big thing.
Yeah.
Having people pay, that's another thing. Like
Yeah.
they'll play, but they won't pay. And then, there's also the thing of just like weird, like drama amongst the team. Like I remember we had a coach, and he's coming back, and like he just took it super seriously for like
Yeah.
a rec league
Yeah.
softball, just to like have fun, get out there, like. And we were playing this team. We were up by like 10 runs or something like that. And like, I mean, you're not playing to go to the championship,
Yeah.
get like $1,000 prize or nothing like that, not even like a trophy or anything. You're just playing to have fun.
Yeah.
And we had like a big lead, and we just kind of gave it up because we were just forcing around.
Yeah.
And he left mid game, and he was just like, "I'm never gonna coach for you guys
What
again.
the
This is
heck?
the performance you guys are gonna be out there putting out." And I was just like, dude, like it's just like a rec league. But I guess he just apparently he makes a lot of money, and his big thing is like, don't waste my time because my
Mm.
time is like that valuable.
Mm.
So that being said, he's gonna coach. Are you gonna be on your P's and Q's when you're playing? Make sure that you're gonna like keep that level on the ball.
I mean, I feel like I do a good job, but also like if I strike out, if I hit a pop fly and like I don't get too stressed about that kind of stuff. Like I do remember that like this is a bunch of like I mean, our team was relatively young compared like the
Yeah.
1 year I was fully on the team, we were relatively young compared to a lot of the other teams. And I'm like, this is 20-year-olds, this is 30 and 40-year-olds getting together and playing softball like
Yeah.
Sunday nights or something. I was like, this is not that serious. We're also on the rec team and there is a comp league. Like, if you want
Yes.
the serious, join the comp league.
Yeah.
'Cause otherwise, no.
Have you guys ever gotten, because we got into a argument, a little bit of a back and forth with another one of the teams that was just super competitive for no reason. And again, like where you're saying, like there's a comp league and then there's a rec league,
Yeah.
which they could be doing both. The rec league is just their tune-ups, and then their comp league
Yeah.
is
So,
just
yep.
to like
Yep.
actually be serious. Have you ever had any experiences with that?
So the worst one I would say is this one team. I can't remember their name. I think we played them a couple of times,
Mm.
and we were always like really chippy with each other because I think they were a team that did take it really seriously. And at the time, I vividly remember I was batting. I hit a pop fly, and I was like that season known for hitting pop flies, like infield pop flies or whatever,
Yeah.
and people would catch it all the time. Well, this guy caught it, and then I think another player ran into him and like but it wasn't our player. Like I think one of his own teammates ran into him somehow and he dropped the ball, so I was safe on first base. And I was so excited that I was safe on first base that I cheered when the two hit and the ball fell.
Yeah.
And the first baseman like looked at me and was like so fucking disrespectful or whatever. And I looked at one of our other friends that was on the team and kind of like an assistant coach and I was like, "Oh crap, like my bad. Like I obviously didn't mean to do that." I looked at the one guy on the other team and I was like, "I'm so sorry. Like I just was excited to make it onto base or whatever."
Yeah.
And our coach teammate guy was like, "Don't even worry about it. Like we all everyone on our team knows you did not mean it in like a malicious way. You were just excited to get on base. Like don't worry about it." But that guy just kept looking at me and was being like so disrespectful to me the rest of the game. And I was like, I promise I didn't mean to cheer that they hit each other. I was just excited that I finally got on base.
I've had instances like that where like I remember one of the leagues, I couldn't make a hit to save my
Yeah.
fucking life. And I finally got like a single on a game, and Tom was like, because like occasionally they'll have the players go and like coach
Yep. Yeah.
to
Yep.
like
That's what
tell
it
someone
was.
the
Yeah.
thing. And at the time, they were doing the celebration that was the salt and pepper. Have you seen that?
I don't
Where
think
they get
so.
a hit and they do this.
Oh!
So I did that, and
Yeah,
the first base was like, "Hey, if you do that again, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth." And I was like, "Bro, we're just
yeah,
playing around. Like,
yeah,
chill out." He goes, "No, dude, I didn't like it." I was like, I don't know to tell you.
yeah,
A, like, you're winning right now. Who the
yeah,
fuck cares?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and I did it to my buddy because it's like not an inside joke, but it's like if you watch baseball, you know what I'm
yeah,
making a
yeah,
reference to. And yeah, he just took it some sort of way, and I was just like, dude, it's not that fucking serious.
yeah.
Who do you think gets more chippy, the men or the women?
On our team, it was the men.
The men.
It was definitely the men. We had one guy, I don't know if he'll be back because I honestly think he moved states. But like he with that same team occasionally like got chippy with them and some of them got like it was all the guys that were always getting chippy with each other. But yeah,
Yeah.
that one guy just looked at me like he wanted to kill me and I was like, I promise like I did not mean it in a malicious way, but I'm like, this is the first time I'm getting on base.
Do you remember the first name of the guy that was
Like our
that was chippy on our end?
I think his name was Jacob.
Okay, yeah,
So
I know who
yeah,
you're
you might
talking
know who
about.
he was. And then it
Yeah,
was Aaron that was standing next to me on first base, and
yeah,
Aaron was like, "Yeah, don't worry. Like I know you didn't mean it maliciously or whatever." So and it was just like bad timing. But
yeah,
and the other thing too is like they also were not hurt. I think they just collided with each other and the ball fell.
yeah.
Like they both of them got up and went about their day just fine. So
And it's not like you were making fun of them. You
yeah,
were just happy to be on
yeah,
base.
yeah.
Yeah. Fucking people. When are you gonna try to do more? Do you like doing the comp leagues? Would you do other? Because I mean, you used to play volleyball, and I know there's like a big sand volleyball thing. Would you ever go and do that, or your
I
volleyball
actually
days done?
hate sand volleyball. Like
What's
I
why?
hate.
Why?
So I was always taught when you were like serving in volleyball to like have a routine and stick to it and don't ever change it or whatever. And my routine was always to like bounce the ball like 27 million times it feels like and then I would spin it and then I would serve.
Gotcha.
And I can't bounce the ball when I'm playing sand volleyball, so it's throwing off my serve. So I hate playing sand volleyball for that reason. Like if I
Gotcha.
don't have to serve, I would play it, but you got to go back and serve at some point, and I hate it.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. Because we're doing this thing called Beer Olympics, even though we're probably gonna change the name because I think it's copyright.
Oh.
But one of the games I wanted to do is sand volleyball, but nobody wants to fucking do it.
I would join, you
And
know.
that's the thing. I was
Yeah,
just like, what is wrong with sand volleyball?
yeah,
And so I want to do it. There's a couple like in this neighborhood. They're not like the greatest,
yeah,
but it's sand and there's
yeah,
a net. So fucking what do you need?
yeah,
But
exactly.
I didn't realize it was that. The thing I hate is walking around in it,
Yeah,
like and jumping around the sand.
yep,
It's a fucking workout that
yeah,
really doesn't need to be.
yeah.
So, what about basketball? You good at basketball?
I'm actually not good at basketball. That was like the only sport I never really played growing up. So,
What athletics did you do growing up? Because I know
um,
like your brothers did basketball.
yeah, they did basketball. I'm
I
sure I
did
went to like their
gymnastics when I
practice.
was
I went
very
to gymnastics. I
surprised.
did gymnastics. That's the one sport I always tell people I regret quitting. Like I was terrible at it. I'm not flexible at all. But I do like I loved going to the gym. Like I loved it. I was terrible at it, but I loved it.
Why do you
Um,
regret quitting?
just because like it was something fun that I liked doing, and I think I don't remember how old I was when I stopped doing it, but then I quit volleyball because of like the politics of it all. I quit softball because I wanted to play volleyball more, and when you're younger, they're in like opposite seasons. You can make it work or whatever, but
Yeah,
when you get older, like college, or not college, high school volleyball and softball are the same season, so you have to like pick one or whatever. So I wasn't able. I picked volleyball because I liked it more, and I thought I was maybe potentially better at it than I was at softball. But yeah, I quit volleyball because like the politics of it all. It was. I mean, my last 2 years playing volleyball were like the worst experience of my entire life. So
so when you're saying politics, what do you mean? Like amongst the players, like what's this?
yeah, there's usually, I mean, I hate to say that it's because we're all girls, there's a bunch of drama, but I do think it's
Gotcha.
because we're all girls, there's a bunch of drama.
So politics
Um,
amongst the players
there's
mean
yeah,
like
there's politics amongst the players. There's also politics amongst the girls. Our old high school volleyball coach, I don't know if she's still there. I honestly don't know.
mm,
But she used to teach me when I was in third grade. She was my third grade teacher. But I think one of the girls at one point told her I like wasn't a good person or wasn't a good player, and for reasons I cannot explain, I felt like she never liked me after that. I remember there was one time that like my knees have always really bothered me and my knee was killing me at this game. So I was like, hey, can I go like I think it was during summer
That's when I
conditioning.
used to do the tape. You'd always have to
Yeah, like
do
I
the
would like
tape.
tape my knees and like tape
Yeah,
my legs and everything. And I was like, my knee's really killing me or something. Like, can I go ice it? We were in the middle of summer conditioning and she like yelled at me and was like, there's nothing wrong with your knees. I don't know why you need to go do this crap or whatever. But she let one of the varsity girls go and do it. And so I remember getting done with conditioning that day and I texted my mom and I said, I'm done with volleyball. I was like, I'm not playing anymore. And I had had a really terrible experience. The year prior with club volleyball, I had played with this one girl for 2 years, and she was, like, a bitch to me the entire time. We did not get along. She was, like, my worst enemy. I would leave practices crying because she was so mean to me. I did get mono in the middle of the season, and I was out for, I think, maybe only 1 game just because I had a really high fever, and I mean, as long as you're not sharing water bottles or making out with each other, like you can't spread
right.
mono. Like you got to use it like through like saliva or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I missed like one tournament because I had like 101 fever and it was a 3-day tournament and I missed 1 day of the tournament. And the 1 day that I was gone, she picked on one of my other friends at the time to the point where I think mid game she ran off the court crying because this girl was just being an asshole to her. And I showed up the next day and I was like, I'm done with this fucking shit. And so we would get assigned jobs. Like when you worked tournaments, you had to work jobs, usually depending on the level of the tournament. The up ref, so like the guy that sits higher up, he is always like an official ref or whatever. Sometimes it is like your coach if it's like a lower level tournament. And then our coach that year happened to be like an actual paid ref that just coached or whatever. And so he was always our down ref. And then the girls would have to be like scorekeepers and they would have to like do book and they would have to be line judges or whatever. And I think I got picked to do something really random. I think it might have been like flipping the score or something like that. And we had a rule in our team that if you wanted to trade jobs, you and the girl you wanted to trade with had to like mutually agree to it, right? Like I couldn't, if you were on my team, I couldn't bully you into it. Like we had to mutually agree to this or whatever.
Right.
So everybody liked their jobs, and I guess one of the girls was bitching that she had to be line judge. No one wanted to be line judge because you had to really pay attention and you had to stand the entire time.
Hmm.
And she was like, "Will you trade positions with me?" And I was like, "No, I don't want to." And this other girl that had been bullying me, she was like, "No, like you were gone yesterday, so you should be line judge because it's like the worst job." And
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm not gonna do it. Like I already told you guys, I'm not gonna do it. Like if I get picked the next time, I'll do it. But like I've got my job. I don't want to trade. We have to agree to this trade, and I'm not agreeing to it."
Yeah.
Um, and we had played, me and this one girl had played on the same team last year. And she was like, we don't need your drama like last year or something. And I said, we don't need your fucking attitude either.
Mm.
And she turned around and she ran to her mom and started crying her eyes out to her mom. And they went over to our head coach and our coach is like, what the fuck's going on? And I said, I'm done. I
You
said,
have
I'm
a hard time making friends.
I
That's
yeah,
it.
nobody likes me. And I was like, I'm sorry, but like I'm done with this shit. I was like, I heard the entire day that I was gone and I was sick that she was bullying this one girl to the point where she ran off the court crying mid game. I'm like, I'm not gonna put up with this shit anymore. Like she can't keep getting away with it. So
Old are you whenever like
oh, I was in high school. I was
gotcha.
probably like 16.
And you're still doing like club sports that weren't connected to the school.
Yeah, so this wasn't connected to the school. I don't think anybody on my team played at my school either. Sometimes it happened where like you would be on the same club team as like girls you went to high school with. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the girls on that team did go to high school together and if they weren't in the same, some of them were in the same grade and some of them were like a couple grades apart or whatever, but like they all knew who each other was because you usually played high school volleyball and then basically the day that was over, you would try out for club and then club would end, I don't remember exactly. Sometime in like the spring or whatever. And then you usually had a spring sport too that you were a part of. So you were doing like sports all year round. Um, and so I was on track. So me and this one girl that I was like yelling at the game, like we would see each other at track games too.
Jules.
Girlfriend.
Hey, come here. Come here. Oh, you want to play?
I
She is. Have you? I haven't even met Jules. Have you?
think so either. I think it's my first time.
She is the biggest lug that you'll
Yeah.
ever. Yeah. And it's so funny. Like at the end of the night, she'll just fall. Like not even like a gentle like snuggle.
Yeah.
She'll just fall on you to
Oh.
like take a nap or anything like that. And if you are doing something that she doesn't want you to, like if you are doing your homework or doing the dishes or laundry and she wants to play, yeah, no, she will like throw the toy at you. She will like in her mouth like smack it down like this is what I
Yeah.
want to do. Um, I love her, but man,
Pandora would do the same thing where she would just like sit and stare at you and just
yeah,
whine. She was known for staring and whining. That was her big thing.
Jules does that too, and then she'll just like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what? What do you want? Like, I fed you, I walked you. I'm not saying the T word.
Yeah.
Like, we've been playing for an hour,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too with her. I would walk her for like an hour, 2 hours. I've walked her for like 3 hours once, and we come home, and she maybe takes like a 5, 10 minute power nap, and she's back up
She's
again.
back.
Like, hey, let's go outside, let's
Yep.
play. I'm like, dude, I want to rest.
Yep.
Like, give it a break and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, she's a good dog.
Yeah.
I like her a
Yeah.
lot.
She's been great.
Yeah,
So
there's a few things she needs to work on. Anytime that if you're petting her in the face, and sometimes if I don't know if I'm just either going too hard at a certain point, but she will take offense to it and she'll
mhm.
just start trying to like bite you.
Oh really?
And yeah, so we're working on that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean,
Yeah, she's been a great dog while I've been here. So
yeah, that's good. Um, are you gonna make your kids do athletics, or are you like, fuck kids, I don't want to do any of this stuff?
um if I don't know
Yeah,
because I do think that like being an athlete like shaped me into the person I am. I think I am partially so outgoing because it's just my dad's side of the family, and I always say I'm like my dad's side of the family. But I also do think like
is your dad outgoing?
my dad is not outgoing.
But everybody
But
else
his
is.
my dad's side of the family.
The one time your dad made a joke to me, I didn't even register as a joke. I was in your guys' mud room, like either putting on my shoes or taking off my shoes. And like he just comes over to me and he goes, "Let there be light." And he just whips. And I was like, "Did he just talk to me?" Because like usually when your dad
Yeah.
talks, it's usually in order. Like,
Yeah.
"Hey, go move your
Yep.
car, go sit at
Yep.
the table," and you're like, "Okay, yes, sir." And he
Yep.
just
Yep.
yeah, which yeah, love your dad. He's a great dude.
Yep.
But yeah, he whenever you're like, I would go on like my dad's side of the family. It's like dad's side of the family.
Yep.
But so anyway, would you make them? Because that's the thing. I feel like some people it's either like I've seen it one or two ways. Either they're like absolutely they're gonna be doing sports to like stay healthy, go meet people, team building, yada yada yada. And then there's some people that have had awful experiences and they're like, no, I would not subjugate them
Yeah.
to that form of torture that I was
I
subjugated
think
to.
when they're like younger, I would sign them up for stuff like that,
Mhm.
and I would kind of see if they have an interest in it. I would love to say that like I would tell them no to playing club sports, but I think the hardest part about that is like if your kid wants to play at the collegiate level, they need to be in a club.
What
So
what sport would you start them off at? Because our family was like soccer. That was
I
the
think
sport
we
of this
did
one.
like kiddie soccer. I would
Yeah.
probably do that kind of stuff. I'm sure we were signed up. I don't know how we got into like gymnastics, but Matthew and I both did that. So
I love that little picture on
on our
back.
friends of
Yeah.
like Matthew, yeah.
How long did he do that for?
Matthew did not do it for nearly as long as I did. But I think he was more flexible than me, so he did get up higher. My splits held me back because they did look like this. Like full strength, I was like that. And I was like, okay. But yeah, like I would sign him up for like really like random sports or whatever. But yeah, the hardest part is like if you do want to play collegiate, like you have to go and play like club sports. And even like I think club volleyball, like obviously there was a lot of politics about it and like I didn't get along with the girls, so like drove me away from it all. Um, but it's not nearly as bad in my opinion, at least like playing where I was as like hockey. Like some of the guys in order to play D1 college hockey, you do have to end up on a hockey team in the USHL. At least that's my understanding of it. Again, I've never played hockey a day in my life, but my understanding of it is that if you want to go to the D1 level, you need to be on a USHL team, or you can also get away with it being on like a Canadian team,
Yeah.
but like of the same level as the like USHL just in Canada or whatever. But it's like these kids will move away from their home for like the entirety of hockey season. They'll live with random people or whatever. And it's just like
Do
that's
you
crazy to me.
do you watch juniors?
No, I really don't,
No.
but
Well, I think USA has won 2 times in a row, so
yeah.
that's as far as I follow
Yeah.
it. Where I'm like, cool, USA, and then after that, I
Yeah.
couldn't name a single person.
Yep.
I'm the most casual hockey fan.
Yep.
Like I try, and I'll watch some games. It's free on ESPN, which is great.
Yeah.
But see what I mean with football. Um, but yeah, I'm the most casual hockey fan. I don't think I can name more than 20 players right now.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can do 20.
Can you do like 5 or 10?
I could probably do 5 or 10, yeah.
Yeah. All right, give me five like professional hockey players right now.
Vince Dunn, Seattle Kraken, Philip Grubauer, Seattle Kraken,
Okay.
Matty Benier, Seattle Kraken. Let me think of one who's
So you're a big Seattle
I'm a
Kraken
big
fan.
Seattle Kraken fan. Okay, this is just because they were flooding my TikTok when I used to have that. Jack Hughes, who plays for the Devils. He's got a brother, Quinn Hughes, that plays for the Canucks, which is in Vancouver. And then he's got a little brother, Luke Hughes, that plays with him on the Devils. So that's like 6 or
It is a
something.
big sibling sport.
It
They have
really is, yeah.
PK Subban and his brother, whose name I can't think of right now. Sorry to him. Vince Dunn played for the Blues whenever they won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I watched that in your living room.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I think he was on that team whenever they won.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's yeah. There's a couple of people that they just I didn't really understand how starting a new sport or a new team in a established sport would go.
Yeah.
But they had like the lottery draft system, and then they just picked up players, and
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So what? Why just Seattle's like the newest team, and then you're just kind of getting hockey at the time, or is it because you want to go live in
I think it's
Seattle?
because I wanted to go live in Seattle. The other
Mm,
thing I do like about them is, if I remember correctly, they have the first female assistant coach in NHL history now, but this is her first season with the team. So, and I
gotcha.
was a fan of them for, I would say, maybe going on like 2 years now. So,
You're pretty big. Are you ski or snowboard?
snowboard.
Okay, you messed up your nose the other day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad. What happened exactly? I meant to ask you this, but I
Okay.
completely forgot.
So to give you like a backstory on it, I posted on my Instagram story a picture of my snowboard and I was like,
Yes.
one like and I'll do a flip. And I
Yes.
think it got like 50. And I was like, okay. And I knew going into it, like making that post, that I cannot do a flip. I can do like smaller jumps, but I cannot do a flip. I would die if I tried. So my original plan was, I had a GoPro and I was like, oh, like I'm just gonna take like a jump or whatever, and then when I'm midair, like I'll cut the footage and be like, "Oh my god, the GoPro died midair."
Yeah.
And then I think the GoPro like just wasn't really working that best. My other idea was to have my dad hold up the phone and take a video of me, but it would be facing him the entire time, and I'd be like, "Oh, old
Uh,
people don't know how electronics works or whatever." Um, and so that was like my next plan or whatever. And then it was the last run of the day and it was freezing cold that day. Literally picked the coldest day to wipe out. We were at the top of like, or we were like maybe halfway up one of the mountains. You could kind of see, like when we ran around this one corner, you could see the like chair lift and all that stuff, like down below at the base of the mountain. And I saw this like little mound of snow and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna hit a jump or whatever. And I went up, I probably caught like 2 inches of air, maybe like this much. I didn't go
yeah.
very far in the air. And I caught the front edge of my board and I went down. And I wish I was being dramatic when I said this, but my face like bounced off like a trampoline. Like I hit it and just
Oh,
bounced back. I was like, oh my God. I sat up right away too. Like sat up right away and I was like, "Oh my god, that's so fucking embarrassing."
yeah.
Literally out loud was like, "That's so embarrassing." Um and so then I'm like, "Oh, like my nose is running or whatever." And when I ski, I have white gloves, a white jacket, my goggles have like white around them. I wear like 90% white when I snowboard. And I went to wipe my nose thinking I just had like a runny nose or whatever, and there's just blood all over my glove. And I'm like, "Oh crap." And so I'm like pulling up my ball club. I'm like trying to cover my face. I ski down to my dad and I'm like, be honest with me, how bad do you think it is? I'm like, I show up like this, like holding my face. And I'm like, how bad do you think it is? And he's like, oh, your face is like bleeding. And then it just starts like pouring out or whatever. And I'm like, we don't have anything to wipe it up. So we had to call ski patrol and
Mm,
we didn't know where we were on the mountain. And so I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, like, I was like, I don't need to be carted down. I was like, I don't think I have a concussion. Like, I feel fine. I was like, my just like nose is bleeding and we have nothing to stop it right now. I was like, can you bring us some gauze or whatever? And so we were trying to figure out where we were and they came and got us and gave us some gauze and then that was it. So
Our owner slash coach for softball. He's seeing someone now.
yeah.
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 Um, he just took her skiing for the first time, and she broke her leg. I guess it's nothing bad. I don't remember if it was skiing.
Where
It
did he
was
take her?
somewhere in Nebraska. I don't know.
Oh, so in Iowa.
Oh, okay, there you go. Hey, do you know the story a little bit better than I do? Okay, good talk. Um,
Good talk.
but yeah, he said that she had a fall, and then he was like, "All right, like it happens. Come on, get up." And she was like, "Ow, that like really hurt."
Yeah.
And then I can't remember if he said that her knee was dislocated or there was like a small fracture, but
Oh my
yeah,
God.
first time broke her. It was like your nose thing. Was that the worst injury you've had?
Yeah, I would say that was the worst. I've definitely probably gotten some concussions before or like whiplash. I get pretty bad whiplash just from my head like bouncing off or whatever,
How
but
often is your head bouncing off, or is it just that one time?
there was once when I first started and I like couldn't stand up and like every time I stood up I fell.
Yeah.
Like I was hitting my head all the time. But now I'm good that I can make it down. If I'm not trying to do crazy jumps, I can make it down without falling.
To the ignorant like myself, I remember the first time I saw your nose. My thought was, "Oh my gosh, you must have hit like a rock or a tree."
Yeah.
And then I think Josh had explained to me, like, no, like it's snow, which you think is soft, but like after everyone,
After everyone's gone through it, it turns into like ice or whatever. Like
yeah,
they shave it down to basically ice. Yep.
where it's kind of like when you drive your car over, it's just that kind of
Yep.
slick and
Yep.
packed snow. And I was like, damn, I've never been skiing. I don't know if I'd want to. Um, the my lady was talking to me about like how her family had, or not her family, her friend's family, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's in Colorado. If you want to go," I was like, I will stay at the resort. I'll be in like a cable knit sweater. I'll have both hands on my hot chocolate, and I will like sip while
Yep.
you guys do that and have fun.
Yep.
I don't know if I could ever go
Yep.
skiing because it just looks ski maybe snowboarding, but I don't know if I have like the balance or
Yeah.
anything for it. But skiing, no, I feel like my feet would just go in different
Yeah.
directions. Do you start skiing or do you start snowboarding? Just stick to snowboarding.
I think my parents, when we were really, really young, took us one time, and I think I did kiddie like ski lessons.
Hmm.
But we did. I mean, I had to be really young, like I think maybe under 5 when we went,
Hmm.
and then the next time I went, I was maybe 20. So there is a big time gap in between, and I've been snowboarding ever since then. So
Do you watch a lot of Winter Olympics where it's like hockey and then the snowboarding and stuff like that?
I watched the Winter Olympics, yeah, and I follow like Chloe Kim. She won a gold medal whenever the last Winter Olympics were. Like I follow her on Instagram and stuff. So
What when you're sitting there, because again, to the ignorant, I don't want to say it looks easy, but there's some of the stuff that I'm like, if I had like 6 months of training, I could do that.
I saw her do one jump the other day in the half pipe because they're doing the like LAX Open or some kind of weird like snowboarding competitions going on right now. And I was like, if you gave me like a shot of vodka, I
Yeah.
could probably make like it didn't look all that hard or whatever, but I know there has to be so much training going into it because she also was in the same post that I saw this, and I couldn't tell you where the jump happened. She's supposedly like the first woman to land some kind of jump in a half pipe competition or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that I obviously can't do. But like her first jump, I was like, I feel like, if you gave me
Well,
an
because
hour, I could
yeah,
I could get that
I could
down.
get it. And that's the thing. Like whenever I was growing up, I mean, Shaun White was like the
The big, yeah,
guy.
who's the big one?
But like when you're looking at it, it looks like they're just in like, is that the half pipe? To just like,
Yeah, that goes like, yep.
and they just go like this
Yeah, they just
down,
yep.
and I'm like, I could fucking do that if I
Yeah.
knew what to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't even know like how they score it. It makes no
Yeah.
sense to me. Would you ever try to give yourself a shot in any sort of winter?
The only one that I would do because I think it could be the easiest for me to do right now is like snowboard cross where they just race down the mountain on like a track or whatever.
Do you race with multiple people or do you just go by
It's
yourself?
it's you and multiple people or whatever. So I think maybe 5 people, but yeah, you just like race down
Well, you said that you
like
wear
a little
all
track.
white whenever you were bleeding. Is it now like pink now, or did you
No, it
like?
thankfully washed out.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I want to get a new jacket anyway because the white does get like really dingy after a while. But
What because you were working at that one. Did you get it at that one store, or are you like North Face? What's like the
I think I got it off Amazon or something like that. So.
um?
I
Okay.
didn't have. I think I I've had it since I started snowboarding because I don't think I had like a good jacket to wear like when I first went out to the mountains, so I had to like get something quick. But
Is Tom a good? Because I know you went with Tom. Is he good at snowboarding or skiing or anything like that?
the first time I went, he was pretty bad, but to be fair, it was his first time. Like
Okay.
I think it was literally his first time when we went. Um, he got better as the time went on, which you like usually do. You get better as you progress.
Mm.
But I don't know that I don't know when I last saw him. I think last season I was with him and that's when he was first learning. So I haven't seen him yet since he's like done it for a year now and I'm sure he's a lot better. So
Is it just like something that you and your dad do? Because I don't think Matthew or Josh really.
Matthew's gone a couple times. Josh has never gone, but yeah, it's like me and my dad's thing. So
Not your mom thing.
my mom will go, but she won't ski with us. And then she oftentimes also gets really bad altitude sickness. So sometimes she goes and she's like you, where she's like, I just want to hang out at the condo and like have fun. And then she
Yeah.
just gets like pounding headaches while she's there. So there's been a couple times more recently that it's just been me and my dad. So
Where do you go?
we go to Breckenridge usually. And then Breckenridge is either like a 30-minute car ride or you can take a bus. And we'll go to maybe Keystone for like a day. So
Do you have any problem with like? Is there any weird like people doing that stuff where they're like, "Hey, you're in my lane" or anything like that? Like any bad instances, snowboarding or skiing?
mm, usually it's a lot of kids who like want to show off, so they'll go flying down the mountain or whatever.
I
I
figured
will say,
kids would be.
yeah,
Yeah.
kids are like a big one, and usually it's not like little kids. Little kids can like follow it. It's usually like the like I don't know, 10 to like high school, college age kids that just want to like show off that are kind of the most annoying. I will say I have seen a lot of skiers where like the way to like control your speed the best is to just constantly make turns. But I've seen a lot of skiers who will go like just from one side of the mountain all the way to the next. They just make these really wide, crazy turns or whatever.
Mm,
And when I was bleeding, holding my face, skiing down to the bottom of the mountain, this old guy in front of me was just making these really like wide turns at like a slow speed or whatever. And the rule is that the person in front of you has the right of way. So like you have to pay attention to what they're doing because obviously they can't see you behind them or whatever. So I'm like trying to keep out for this guy. Excuse me, I'm trying to keep out for this guy. I'm trying to go around him. And he's also just like making these. I'm like, dude, my face is bleeding. I'm pretty sure my nose is broken right now. You're
yeah.
pissing me off. So, yeah.
So it's not like one of those things where, because I know like I was riding bikes for a while. That if you're like on your left, then it's like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of the
Yeah.
way. Is there any sort of thing like that, or is it like
I've
gone?
never heard anybody say anything, but I'm
Mm,
sure if you kind of yelled like, "Hey, I'm coming behind you," they would move out of your way. I
yeah.
probably could have done that, but again, I was
So I know there's like a ranking system between like bunny and like green and
yeah.
red. What's like the worst one, or what's the toughest one you've gone down?
So okay, first of all, the easiest one is a green, and then it goes blue, and then it goes black diamond, and then it's like double black diamond. And I mean, greens are like the bunny slopes. They groom those; they're super easy for you. And then double black is like extreme terrain. They don't groom it. Usually, there's a lot of like trees or rocks or different things like that in the way. Um, I will say last year for spring break, we usually stay at my dad's friend's condo.
Mm,
And that year it was me and my dad. We stayed up at like the hotel lodge or whatever because I also have a timeshare there. But then at the condo was his brother-in-law and his sister-in-law's partner, and like all their kids. So there was three other kids there that were like all college age, so all my age or whatever. Um, and one day we did one run and we like ended up in the trees or whatever. And I think I got lost and like I think we all got lost. And thank God I ended up running into them
mm.
somehow. But like that was the worst because you're just like sweating buckets. You're trying to avoid these trees. I also have no clue where I'm at, so I can't tell if I'm getting like further away from like the main trail or if I'm just losing it all and I'm like, guys, I'm scared. Like that was the worst.
So I know that one of the things it sounds weird saying this, but I know your dad asked for a Garmin for Christmas.
Yeah.
Is that because like you guys just keep having instances of like either getting lost or just getting turned around and you're like, where am I right now? Oh, this thing telling me exactly where I am right now.
I think he got that because he just wanted to track his miles. If it's just my dad and I going, we don't usually do those like crazy stuff. Like we might occasionally, but we stick to like the blues and the greens or whatever. I think it was just because we were a bunch of other college kids who like wanted to do random shit or whatever. Like we did one of the like summit trail. So you got off the chairlift and then you had to climb up to the top of the mountain. And that was the worst experience of my entire life, too.
Why is that the worst experience of your life?
So the night before, I took an edible. I took 2 edibles,
Ah,
sat in a hot tub, got violently sick,
yeah.
and then slept in through like most of the ski day, joined them at like noon. And my first run of the day, they're like, let's climb to the top of this mountain and ski down. And I think they'd already done it. And I was like, well, shit, I missed it. And I don't think they wanted to do it again tomorrow. So they're like, we'll go and do it again with you. And we're climbing up. And you have to carry your gear, which is like the worst part. You have to like carry it or whatever. Um, and I'm just climbing up and you think you get to the top and then there's like more to go or whatever. And I was maybe 20 steps from the top and I slipped and there was this old guy behind me that had to like catch me or whatever.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
That's
then yeah, like I had to like stick my feet into the ground. I at one point was my feet was on top of this guy's hands because he was using it as like a stair to like help me up or whatever. Cause
nice
I
guy.
know I could not get up because that was the thing too. I like slipped a little bit and then I just couldn't get up. So he like put his hands in there as like a little step and then like I was so nice. I've never seen him again. I don't think I ever will, but I was like, I love you. Wherever you
Yeah,
are, if you're watching this, I love you.
he's not watching
He
this.
might be, you never know.
Yeah.
But
So was that your first time eating an edible?
that was my third time in my life being high.
And you had
And I
two.
had 2 edibles and I sat in a hot tub for
Do you
like
remember
maybe 30 minutes.
what the how many milligrams?
Nope,
Okay.
don't remember anything about it. I also here's the thing. Let's hope my dad doesn't watch this. I don't know if my dad knew that I was high.
Oh.
I think my dad was like, she's just sick.
Yeah.
I think they've talked about coming back again for their spring break, and I think it lines up with mine. So I might be like, "Hey, do y'all remember that one time I got violently sick? Like,
Yeah.
who thinks I was just sick? I was
Right.
actually high." Because that was the one thing I think I got a little paranoid the next day, and they're like, "None of the adults knew that you were high. Like, they all just thought you were sick." And I was like, "No." Like, one of the moms was looking at me like
Like
like she knew. I
yeah.
don't think she was judging me, but she knew.
She knew
And
something was
so,
up.
yeah.
I've never been sick, but I remember I've had I mean, because I've had a few, and the first time I remember just having that classic, like, these aren't hidden. First of all, we went to this place in town called American Shaman
Mm,
over by Lansky's, or it was Lansky's, I don't know what it's called now. Um, but anyway, we,
mm,
we went there and me and Aaron had like half of like a 5 milligram or something like
yeah.
that. It was not a lot. And I think it was my birthday and it was there's a UFC fight that we were having at the house, and I remember me and Aaron just having the same thought process of like, this shit ain't hitting,
Yeah.
As soon as I got up, my whole life just was different for whatever reason. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, let's go get some food." And I was like, "Mm-mm,
No, I'm
I,"
good.
because they're like, "Yeah, you still want to drive?" I'm like, I can't drive." And
Yeah.
I don't know if they knew it at the time, but we're at the apartment and like I'm sitting down and like a few of them stayed and a few of them went.
Mhm.
And I had this thought of like, "Oh, they know I'm high." But I wasn't saying anything to anybody. So I was just like in the corner just giggling to myself. And then Aaron said he had the same thing. Like as soon as we both stood up, it just kicked in,
Yep.
and then we were like just off from there. Aaron hated it. I had this weird thing where I felt like just shit moving up and down my back and then
Mm,
across my body. I don't mind it. And then I most recently, it was maybe like a year ago, I had one, and then I watched Tombstone, and I was terrified. I
yeah.
don't know why. So I don't know. I haven't had it since, but
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it and then get into a hot tub. That doesn't
Yeah.
sound
I think yeah.
because what I do it and I go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done it 3 times. The second time, I actually don't know if I ever was fully high, but the 2 times that I know for a fact I was, like, vividly high or whatever, it was the worst experience. Like, I think I was 18 the first time, and it was a dab pen, and it was
Oh,
me and my cousin, and I think we had left a family wedding early, and she was over at my house, and I knew my parents were gonna come home, so I think there was, like I was paranoid that they were gonna come home and catch us and we would get in trouble or whatever.
uh,
So I remember looking at my cousin at some point, and I was like, "I'm having a heart attack." I was like, "I'm having a heart attack. You gotta call 911. I'm gonna die. Like this is terrifying." And so then yeah, the second time I don't think I ever got like actually high. And then yeah, the third time taking the edibles and I just sat in the hot tub and they could tell that like I was getting high because I kept touching my eyes and I was like
yeah.
squinting or whatever. And I got out and I remember being like, I'm gonna like
Why
drop
did
dead and die.
why did you have two? Where is it like the first one wasn't it? I'm gonna take a second one,
I don't honestly remember why I took two.
or were you just hungry and you're just like, let's just have both of these?
I I know I took one and then I think they asked me if I wanted a second one. And I think they
Mm,
asked me if I wanted half, and I was like, no, just like give me the whole one or
yeah,
whatever. So, but I mean, the people that I was with, like it was, despite the fact that I like had a terrible experience with it, like they were a great group of people to like do it with because they were like fun and they were checking in on me and like the whole next day, like before I joined them for the ski, like they were checking in on me, and
yeah.
then when we were like sitting at the lodge, like hanging out, like they were great people to like do it with or whatever. I think I did too much. So
I would agree that you did too
yeah.
much. I remember when we were growing up, we were, I think maybe you and your family were gone, but except for Josh.
Oh geez, what'd you guys do to my house? Was my dog still alive at the time?
No,
This is pre
this is
Pandora.
pre-Pandora. We're in high school. Hey, Josh, do you want to help incriminate me and yourself? We do not condone underage drinking, by the way.
Oh my god, what did you guys do in my house?
Your brother, I don't remember who came with the idea of like, oh, we're gonna go shotgun beers in in your like your parents' stand-up
Shower?
shower,
You were in the shower.
but no one explained to us how to do a shotgun. And I will see if Matt can add this video in. Let me see if I can get like a date of when it was. It's it's about what you expect. We didn't even drink the beers because oh maybe we weren't. I thought we were in high school. I have too many pictures and videos of Tom being naked on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Anytime he gets a people in him, he just starts taking the clothes off.
Turn it into a little collage for his wedding.
Mm-hmm. Man, I can't find it. But I can't remember, something's going on. You weren't in the house, baby P wasn't in the house, and your parents were gone. Maybe it was like a wedding in Florida or something. And we were in the shower, all three of us. And like I
So
don't say
you,
your
Josh, and Tom?
yeah, the three of us were like in like your shower's not small. Or your parents is small. But for three people,
It's a pretty big shower, yeah.
it was a little tight for us three though.
Oh, yeah.
And Josh, because like have you ever shotgun a beer?
I think I've done it once and I can't do it. I'm not good.
For any of the high schoolers out there,
For
you line this
the
stuff
benefit of the
up.
radio.
Can't. Okay, so you do this. This needs to be up here, and this is where you do the hole. Because
Yeah.
when you hold like this, there's an air pocket
Yep.
right here. Well, your brother stabbed it like dead in the center,
The middle.
right in the pressure. So it just started spraying all over us. And yeah, we never ended up shotgunning those beers.
That's so funny.
But yeah, he doesn't drink much.
My brother?
No,
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him do much either.
no.
I don't know that anyone minus Matthew, but I think he's like not to like call him an alcoholic, but I think he's still in that like I'm freshly 21, like
Yeah,
drinking's still fun kind of stage. But I don't think a lot of us like drink all that often. So,
no. The one time I saw the video of your dad doing karaoke, I was very surprised.
oh god, that had to have been years ago.
That was years ago.
Yeah.
It was I think some sort of wedding, and he was yelling at me. He was like, "Get out of my house, Jacober." And I was like, Mom sent it to me. I was like, "What did I do?" Like, first of all, Matt is the other one that is the
Yeah.
problem. He eats all y'all's food. He tears up your grass, all that stuff.
I'm just here for the
I'm
vibes.
just there. So,
Yeah.
we made it to an hour and a half.
Holy
So
shit.
yeah,
I yapped for a while.
that's fine. Do you want us to plug so TikTok's back, and I know you were big on that for a while. Are you still doing the makeup trend? No?
I I'm trying to avoid TikTok now. So,
Why? Just it just consumed your life, or
Yeah, it did definitely consume my life. And then I'll be very blunt. They can either keep this in or they can take this out. I don't like Donald Trump. And the first thing it said when it got brought back was, "Thank you so much, Donald Trump, for like saving our lives." And I was like, no, I'm done with that.
gotcha.
That gave me the ick. So I still have both of the apps. I think at some point I'll probably go back to them. But like
Yeah,
also I have a habit of like doom scrolling, so I spend like hours on there and I'm like, I need to like cut my screen time. So
I was doing that, and I got the report because your phone does the weekly
yep.
report.
Yep.
I saw one time, I was like, never again,
Yeah.
and I deleted it.
Yeah.
And then it was banned for like 12 hours, and
Yeah.
now it's not. But okay, so we won't do that. Do you want your Instagram plugged, or
Yeah,
you'll
you can
notes,
tag
or
I mean you can tag my regular Instagram and then I haven't posted anything on it yet, but I do have like a creative media account that I'm gonna start posting
do you have
at
it?
some point.
Do you
It's
have
active, it's just I haven't posted anything yet. If you search it should be Mare. I think it's Mare, my last name and then media. Yep, right there. So I haven't posted anything yet, but
Is that a camera?
yeah, that was a photo we took at the Colorado College game.
What are you looking to do on that one? Like post your own media content, or
So originally I was going to just post like all of the photos I took or whatever. And then I haven't done anything with it yet. I was gonna like on the first of the year be like, welcome to 2025 and like here's all my photos from 2024. And then like I did plan at one point on like after every single game posting 5 photos. But the other issue is now that I'm doing this new job, I don't know how often I'll be taking photos.
hmm
So
with that's not how you spell your name, right?
no.
Okay, I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that I haven't been spelling it wrong.
Yeah, I don't like my government name, so
Gotcha.
I go by Mayor usually. If I'm at the bar, I lie to people and I say my government name's Meredith, and no one ever questions it. So
Meredith? Yeah,
yeah.
because who would make up the name? Well, not make
Well,
up, but who would
I
like,
also tell people I'm Canadian. If
why?
you catch me at the bar, I'm Canadian. So if anybody who's ever seen me at the bar watches this, oh my
Do
god.
you do like a Canadian accent?
No,
And they're just like,
I
checks
talk to
out.
people like this, and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" Canada.
They're dumb.
Oh, what part of Canada? Vancouver. And people will occasionally be like, why don't you have like that stereotypical Canadian? I got it covered. This is my cover story. So if someone's like, why don't you have the like Canadian accent? I always say that if you grow up in like really metropolitan areas like Vancouver and like Toronto, you don't see the Canadian accent as much because there's so many different people that like live there.
I want these people to go and
Um,
travel. And they're just like, what a fucking liar
what
she
a fucking
is.
bitch.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm like, if you do want to see like the traditional like Canadian accent, like you gotta go to Saskatchewan, you gotta go to Manitoba, you gotta go to like Cal. I've got it covered. So
Why? Why do you even, why do
I
you
think it's
say this?
funny. But then I
Okay.
do like I go out with my friends and like my one friend will be like, okay, like you should tell them the truth. And I'm like, I'm not telling these people the truth right
Is it
now.
John? Oh,
No, it's my one friend Dawson. So like you should tell them like I love John too, but
yeah.
she's like, you should tell them the truth. Like and I'm like, no. Like one time this random guy, this is not related to sports at all.
Mm.
But me and
We haven't
Dawson,
been talking about
yeah,
sports for
sports
a
for a
while.
while
Yeah.
now. But me and Dawson were talking. We were in the car. We were sobering up. It was New Year's Eve. We were like sobering up to drive home. Neither of us was like crazy drunk, but like,
Let me stop. So you were not in your car sobering up. You were like in a house far away from cars.
yeah,
Yeah. Just wanted.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We were far away, and this random person came up to us and tried to give us a what was it? A blue beatbox. Like random person we did not know who it was came up to us and was like, "Do you guys want this beatbox?" And
Oh,
we're like, "No." And they're like, "You should just take it. Like, there's nothing." And we're like, "We don't know you." And so then I told him that we were allergic to blue dye. And he's like, "Well, you're lying to me." And I was like, "I don't know you. Like, I have no reason to lie to you right now." But I
yeah.
was like, "We're seriously like, we are allergic to blue dye." And I was like, "We're fraternal twins." And I was like, "We're allergic to blue dye. It's just like something about us." And he's like, "I don't think you're being serious, whatever." And I was like, "Dude, again, like, why the fuck would I lie to you? Like, I've got nothing to lie to you about."
I do know a girl that's allergic to red 40.
Yeah.
A blue, like a JBL speaker, or like a
No, like a
boom box.
no, like a beat. Have you ever heard of beatbox? It's like a wine beverage or something like that. Like
Oh
it's
no.
yeah, it's an alcoholic beverage. And he wanted to give us the blue one. I think
Boom
we did
box.
end up taking it just to get him to shut the hell up. Yeah. No, beatbox.
Oh, beatbox.
I think it's wine. Beatbox beverages. But
Oh,
these things.
I've seen
Yeah.
these. I've never had them.
He tried to give us this blue raspberry one. And I
And you
was
didn't. Well, it's probably fucking laced with something.
yeah. I think my friend still has it and has never opened it. She might have thrown it away now. But yeah, he tried to give it to us and I was like, we can't take it.
What is he holding on to it for? Just the
I don't
memories?
know. Like he had his friend like passed out in the driver's seat of the car. And so I was like, what the hell? But he was like, yeah, you guys should take it or whatever. And so then I was telling him that we're fraternal twins.
Hmm.
And like I made up a whole fake name. My name was Meredith, and I had two middle names, and they were Vivian Blake. Like literally popped it off the dome, came up with that shit. Um, and I think my friend went with her name or whatever. And then I was like, yeah, like we're from back home in Canada, like we're from Vancouver. I told him we were allergic to peanuts. I dropped this like random, I think it might be true statistic that like 1 in 3 Canadian children are allergic to peanuts. And I was like, 1, 2, there you go. Like this is it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah, there can be some weird cats out there.
yeah.
We met a local rapper named T Royal, through just beatboxing around Omaha and stuff like that. So cool. Yeah. I've never had technically my cousin on. Did you know that? That we're both you got family?
In Spalding,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. So I always tell people
Small
I'm like,
town
yeah.
Hicks.
I always tell Josh, I'm like, or I would tell people about, I'm like, yeah, that's my cousin, and they're like, for real? I'm like,
Might as well be.
probably, yeah.
Might as well be.
So cool. I appreciate you for hopping on. We'll probably get you on again later on.
I was gonna say,
I
get
don't,
me back. I love to yap.
yeah, I mean, I hope you have more stories. Hopefully you don't break your nose again.
Yeah.
Um,
Thankfully it wasn't broken, but I did think it was. So
yeah, that is true. Yeah. You didn't even have any scars or anything, right? Was it all
no.
just on the
I
inside?
think I had like a busted lip for a little bit, so my lip was kind of swollen or whatever, but yeah, there was nothing.
Any final thoughts or words that you
Thank
want
you
to
so much for
share?
having me.
Pleasure
That's
to have you.
all I gotta say.
Alrighty. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.